So last time we had seen the Git architecture and what is a version control system, and then what is workspace and all this stuff. And also we had seen what is working tree and then staging area, local repository, and then remote repository. We'll talk about stash later, and we'll try to do an installation of Git today. So what we have to do is, like, we have to create account in Google Cloud Platform. So I suspect that everyone has created a Google Cloud Platform, and to launch a virtual machine or a VM, we have to, first thing is, like, wherever we are, if whatever we are confused, we will be able to navigate to the menu here, and from here compute engine, and then you have to select VM instances. So you'll be coming or landing here. Suppose that you have to select on create. You have to select your project. You might have different projects, but by default it will create my first project, so you should always select my first project. So when you click on create, it tries to show you a new VM new instance or something. So for example, if I wanted to name any name, I'll name this DevOps. You can add a label. Then you have to select a region which is closest to your closest to you. So for me it's Mumbai, so I'll try to select Mumbai. This one, and you can select the availability zones, subnets, and post that what you have to select is, like, the boot disk. When you click on change, tries to take you to Debian or any of them.
Machine configuration, what did you select? Compute optimized?
Machine, sorry, what was that? No, machine configuration, you can leave it as it is, and you can scroll down and then change, and you can select Debian. You can select operating system as Ubuntu, and then you will be able to get the Ubuntu 16.4. So we have a LTS minimal also. Try to select only the Ubuntu 16.4 LTS, and then click on select. You don't need to select any of the persistent, it's a standard. So just select Ubuntu and then Ubuntu 16.4 LTS, and post that you select allow HTTP and HTTPS rules. That's all. So I iterate again. So the name, whatever name that you feel like, and the region closest to you, and third one you have to select was boot disk, Ubuntu 16.4, and fourth one was firewall rules, allow HTTP and then HTTPS traffic. Then click on create. So why we are going for Google Cloud Platform is, like, there is a benefit that we get here is, like, there is no restriction as such for you to select the instance types, like 2 GB of RAM, 3 GB of RAM. There is no as such a restriction, and you will be getting $300 for free credit, so which you can consume. And the other benefit that we get was, like, we have a link here. You can directly interact with the terminal. So this is our public IP address, and this is our private IP address, and this is our name that we have given to the machine, and we are launched in South B. So if I wanted to connect to this particular machine, I can directly, under connect, you have as such. So if you click on it, it will open a terminal for you. It takes time 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Yeah. So now we are into the machine. So now the first thing is like you can do sudo su to switch user, and then apt get update. Whenever you log in for the first time, you have to do an apt get update to so that the package gets updated in the machine. So to install, we have some same commands like apt-get update, and then we have something called as apt-get install git. So we have to select this, and we'll be able to install git. You can give -y, which says that s to install. So it says git is already at newer version, so no need to. It is not trying to install it again. So to verify it, git -, version. So git is 2.7.4. It's already installed. Okay, to remove it, apt-get remove and git. So next thing is this is trying to for all we wanted to set up a remote repository to interact with remote repositories, and we have something called as GitHub. So let's go there and then create an account over there. So choose your account, like which one you wanted. You wanted a free, say student. Actually, you can skip this. So you have to verify your email ID. Hold on a sec. So here you will be able to see your repositories. So I don't have any, so I'm trying to create new. So this comes as a company name and then repository name. So let's say I wanted to create a repository called as Flipkart. You can give a description to it. You can create public or private. Let's create public. And if you wanted to initialize that with the readme and then create repository. So now I got Flipkart and then its repository, and then if I want to clone it, so you will get a link here with HTTPS. So just copy this and you will be able to go to your terminal and then see currently you don't have anything here. Do ls, nothing is there, and now say git clone and the URL. So you'll get Flipkart as an directory. If you go into this Flipkart, you will see all the readme text, readme.md. If you say ll, you will see .git folder as well, which is actually a local repository which contains all the hashes. Fine. This how we'll be able to create an account in Google Cloud, and then we'll be able to launch a machine, and then this how we'll be able to create an account in GitHub, and we'll be able to create a repository over there, and then we can work with the repository by having our codes there. Okay, so now let's go further. Okay, so now as we had created a repository over there, and then we wanted to now start working with it. So the first thing that we have to set was git config global and then your names, who you are. So if I wanted to specify who I am, I have to specify, first thing is I have to do a cd to the Flipkart, and I should be always in the repository, and this is global definitions that we are doing. So git, and you can specify your name, and hit enter. And there was codes issue. Okay, so next thing is like your email, who you are, and we are trying to just register who we are. Then we are stating that when we do some push, so do you want to push only a single branch or all branches which are matching? So I say whichever branch I am logged in, I wanted to just push that, so I'll say push.default is simple. Okay, so if you wanted to see the configurations, you'll be able to list that with the command called as git config -- list. See, the username that we had set and then email that we had set, all these things will be shown to us. So where does that all this configuration store? So it's one directory ahead, home, and then it creates a as we had created with the root, it might have been gone to root. Yeah, see here. So all these things stores here. So cat.git config. So the configuration that we have stored or given was this 3. So this 3 got stored here in .git config. Cool. So now we are good with these configurations. Now let's try to see the remote, what is the remote server that is being configured, and then we will try to do a small exercise, like we will just have add a file and then commit and then push it to remote repository, right? So Boom. So we have Flipkart here. So I have Flipkart here. I'm going to the Flipkart of my project of GitHub. So right now I'm in here. I'll say I'll add a file. So I'll just touch the file, touch one.java, and there is nothing in one.java as of now. Okay. So what I'll do is like I'll edit it. I will say welcome to DevOps. Escape, save. So VA is an editor which tries to edit your files. Then I just have got one.java. Now I have to say git add. Before that I'll say git status, which states that the red color indicates it's an untracked file. So these are the untracked files that it says. So we should make it tracked, which means that we have to educate git to understand that set known file. So to do that, git add. So we are adding it to git dot, and then when I say git status, now it's tracked. As it's tracked, it's in green color, right? So now git commit -m message. What message? This message is like which indicates you to identify for what purpose you have done this change. First line of code in git. Okay. So then now if you see git status, it's on master and it says to push your change to remote repository, right? So now if you see git remote -v states that when you say push, where does this particular file goes? So it goes here to this particular. By the way, which branch we are in? So git branch. So we are in branch called as master, right? Now git push origin master. What does origin denotes? So origin is an alias name or a simple name for the entire URL. Okay. So git push origin and master, which says that push my change to this particular repository to the master branch. It says that it has pushed and successfully. So let's verify the change. So right now we have only readme, and if at all I do a refresh, are you seeing the file called as one.java? So this is a file where with whatever line of code that we have written, we got it. So we can also edit directly here. Previously it was not the case, and now they have given a privilege of editing it. So you'll be able to edit it, and then we'll be able to give a commit message and then comment the change. That's the thing. We're done with this exercise. Now let's proceed further. So this I'll leave it to you as an exercise. So what we are doing here is like we are initializing. We have created bare repository is nothing but where we can just store and share. So non-bare repositories are the ones which are like local repositories which we can share, store and modify. So which means that the bare repositories are nothing but the repository that we are seeing it right now here. This is called as bare repositories, which means we cannot edit these files, but now we have got advanced features with which we will be able to edit this, right? So these are called as normally bare repositories, which is been used to share and then store our changes. So here we have created our bare repositories in GitHub, whereas if at all I wanted to make use of to create it in my local, I should be executing this command git init -hyphen bear and then whatever whatever repository name that you wanted to give. Here I have given Wells Fargo, so repository name that you can give, and then the repository of remote will get created in your local. And then the same way, wherever you had created it, and you have to say git clone of the particular repository of the path, and then this repository name, and you can specify the folder that you wanted to create with. Then you can go to the this particular folder cd, and then same exercise like git add, git commit, git push, and then you can say if you wanted to clone it, git clone bear and then mirror. If you wanted to create a mirror of it, you can create mirror with git clone -hyphen mirror and then URL of the particular git, so that it gets created. So now let's explore different commands. Like we have git log with what does this log does is like it tries to show you the details or of the particular file. So for example, I have this readme and then one.java. If I say git log one.java, it shows me the details of the particular file. What is the commit ID, who has done this particular change, what is the username, what is his email ID, and when he has done this change, and what these are called, all this data is called as metadata, right? So it tries to show the metadata files of the particular file, with which we'll be able to identify what was the change that has been done to that particular file. So likewise, if at all I'm not sure about the author and all, right? Say if a person has if a person whoever has been modified the files, and I wanted to list out all those files, only those files, then I can give a -hyphen author and then the name of the person. Likewise, if I want, I just know the let's say I just know the commit message. I don't remember who has done and when he has done, and I just remember only the commit message. It might have a DB code or some line of, like here, let's say my commit message. In my commit message, I just wanted to get a commit which has first line in it. So git log -grep and then is equals to, let's say I had given first line. So it gets, or it scans me all the commits which I have done and which has this particular commit message, right? So this used to identify your commits, your own commits. It is very much beneficial whenever we have whenever we wanted to troubleshoot, or whenever we wanted to understand about the commits that we have done, and we wanted to revert the changes, and we wanted to identify who has done all this stuff. So this importance of kind of a history, or knowing the details of the particular file, or the author, or when we have done the change, all this stuff. And let's say you wanted to understand a person who, Ram, whatever changes that he has done, and with the commit message. So we can filter both ways. Like I know the author who has done, and he might have done some hundred of thousands of commits, but I am only interested in math function. Whichever commit he has done with math function, I am interested in that. So I will be able to give it two filters: git log -author is equals to ram, and then -grep is equals to the math function. So which shows me only with the help with these two and filter kind of ram and math function. Whichever commits they have this particular info, they will be able to display. They will get displayed. So now there is one more command called as git diff and then git diff staged. So for example, if you have done something modification that you have done in the working directory. So for example, I have done some change in my local repository, like vi 1.java. I'll do some change with this exclamatory here. So I save it, and now I just wanted to understand what did I do. I just have done only one line of change, but let's say I have a huge number of lines, and then I just want to understand what lines of code that I have done. So with my, if at all I want to compare with my previous thing, git diff and then 1.java. So it shows me it was this line, and to which I have added these particular lines. Okay, so this is a new entry that we have made instead by deleting this particular line. So that's what it shows. And once you have added it to a staging area, then also you will be able to do that with the help of a command called as git diff -event staged, because now right now we have not staged this particular file, right? We have just edited it and it is there. So it shows the file is again modified. Is red color indicates it's been modified now. It also gives a suggestion of git add and then git commit. Okay, git checkout file will actually undo the changes that you have done. It tries to help you. If at all you wanted to undo a change, instead of you doing manually, it tries to help you to undo a change with the help of command called as git checkout -- file name. Whichever file name changes that you wanted to undo, you will be able to do that. Then this is a diff command -event staged, and if at all we wanted to remove a file, so if you say remove like Linux command rm and then the file name, then you have to do a git add and then git push. But if at all you wanted to have, if you try with this command like git rm and the file name, you need not to specify explicitly git add, because you are trying to remove the file with the help of git, right? So that's why you need, because git easily understand that you are trying to remove, whereas in the first case you are not, we are manually deleting it and git is not aware of that. So if you are removing with git help of git, then you just have to do a git add and then git commit and push. The same way, in the same way, renaming a file also is the same. Git mv is, instead of m directly, git mv and then the login.java. So likewise we will be able to, if you say git mv, you need not to explicitly add it, you can directly commit the change, right? So if you say, if you manually, if you are not specifying git here, you have to specify git add. If you are specifying git add is not required, because git is already aware that you are renaming a file with original name with new name, right? Then directly you can do with the git commit. So that is what is being discussed for day 2. And when we come to day 3, we have few more commands, and we'll also start with branching concepts. So right now here, if at all I wanted to skip a stage, so the file should be a tracked file. Like in this case it's a tracked file, this is tracked file, right? So because it doesn't say it is untracked, right? So it's a tracked file because as it's a tracked file, it didn't display any of the untracked file. So as it's a tracked file and then modified, I wanted to do a git add and then commit. Instead of me doing git add and commit, I have a single command which I will be using called as git commit -am and the message, which directly adds and commits. And there is one more command called as git show and the commit id, which will display me the difference of that particular file as well. Okay, so git commit -am, I'm doing a commit with both second commit. I'm adding and then committing directly, so I have done that. So if you say git status now, everything is clean. Okay, so if I say git log, I should see 2 commits. First commit was renaming and then this my commit, and then second commit. Now if at all I wanted to see this commit details, so git show and the commit. So it shows you a git log output. Git log normally we used to do for files. Here we are doing with the commit. So it tries to show the commit log out, git log output, and also differences what you have done. So it was one.java, and then it was like this previously, and git diff. Combination of git diff and git log is nothing but a git show. Okay. Okay, so if at all I want to list only the files that are committed as part of the revision, then you can say git diff tree no commit id name only, and then r and this particular command of git commit id. Remember that the commit id that we have to specify should be at least of 7 character length. It need not be a 40 character length. Okay. So next we have some other command called as git ls tree and the SHA values, which shows that list of files committed as part of that particular commit. Let's try this. Let's say I wanted to see what files are here. So as part of this commit, this was the first commit that has been done. So as part of this commit, we have only readme. As part of this commit, we might have 2 files. So let's do this. See, you have 2 files. Likewise, as part of this commit, what was the files you have? If you wanted to just identify that, you'll be able to identify it. Next thing that we discussed was branching. So branching is very important in Git. So let's do one thing. Let's start it tomorrow, and tomorrow is the first thing. We'll start with the branch, and we'll understand push, checkout, and reset, revert, all advanced commands. And we'll work with the stash, git stash, ignoring the files, and git tag. And then we'll start with the merging, and then we'll try to see merging concepts with rebase, cherry pick, and we also have we'll try to end with the differences between git and SPM. So let's start with the branching tomorrow, and then we'll progress further. Thanks guys, thanks for joining.